And two, man, we back and we better. Let's get it.
We out here. We out here.
Daniels takes the snap, drops back, finds a man in the air. He's going for it all. Who else? Frank Darby with the grab. Are you kidding me? Darby, 84, a playmaker for the Devils.
Jaden Daniels takes this one, fakes the handoff to Eno Benjamin, unloads this one, deep bomb all the way inside the 5-yard line. Brandon Ayuk.
Daniels under center, fakes the give to Benjamin, now has to improvise. Jaden Daniels to Eno Benjamin, touchdown Devils. How about that for Arizona State?
Gobble, gobble. Welcome into the house. I'm thankful for a Sun Devil win, Scotty. They finally did it. Zach Keenan alongside Scotty Gange. And yeah, thankful for a Sun Devil win because after a 4-game streak, they finally did it, and they did it against the number 6 ranked team.
Let me tell you, Zach, I've seen a number of fantastic things lately. Brandon Ayuk, 81-yard touchdown. I saw Sun Devil fans storm the field, but I haven't seen anything better than your tie today. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Happy Thanksgiving, says you.
Absolutely. It's that
Dude,
time of the year. It's time to
so
give
good.
thanks. It's time for good food. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
First off, what is this? Purple. That's not Thanksgiving. Okay, well, I love mashed potatoes. I hate my tie today. I love mashed potatoes.
One of my neighbors makes this awesome sweet potato kind of casserole-ish with marshmallows in there. It's to die for, buddy. Hey, a good segue here. Also to die for are the highlights from this past weekend. I was on the field in Tempe. You got to check these things out. Saturday Night Lights in Tempe as the Sun Devils looking to end their 4-game losing streak. On the other hand, the Oregon Ducks looking to expand their college football playoff hopes, and they did that right off the start because that running offense that they have is incredible. Only matched by Jaden Daniels' arm as ASU switched over to a vertical passing game, and Frank Darby ties it up 7-7. The ASU defense did their part too, giving the ball back to the Sun Devils and allowed Christian Zendejas to put the team up 10-7 over the number 6 ranked Oregon Ducks. On offense, Jaden Daniels finding Kyle Williams in the flat and showing off not only his speed, but his ability to change directions on a dime. All the way inside the red zone here was Kyle Williams. Zendejas kicked another field goal to put the team up 13-7, and Justin Herbert's response? Weird. He hasn't thrown like this in a while, and the NFL 2020 draft prospect performed very differently than we've seen him all season. We get another example of that right here, throwing into the flat and Jack Jones getting in, deflecting that one. He had 2 interceptions through 3 quarters for 0 touchdowns, and the ASU defensive line, led by guys like Roe Wilkins and DJ Davidson and Jermaine Lowell, but Kalen Curse-Thomas on that sack there. And then it was crunch time. In the 4th quarter, the Sun Devils led 13-7. The Ducks needed a touchdown to put them up and keep their college football playoff hopes alive. And here's Puddles, trying to land something here, but just like his team, he kind of fumbled it there too. Check out this amazing light scene, the light show, put out by the Sun Devils, and here's Justin Herbert in the 4th quarter, and he's picked off. Right there on that one. Looks like it's going to be Jack Jones on the interception, and he really picked up and stepped up from where he's been in the past couple games. So the boys in maroon uniforms get the ball back, and here's a career night for Jaden Daniels. He threw for 408 yards, going 22 for 32 and 3 touchdowns. There's another one of them. Trust me, he caught that one. With only around 10 minutes left, the Sun Devils led the Ducks 21-7. Herbert had to do something, and what does he do? He throws an interception. It's Kalen Curse-Thomas. Yet again, he was impeccable on defense in this match, building on an already impressive season for him so far. But back to the Ducks. Shout out to our friends at Addicted to Quack, fellow SB Nation affiliate, and Johnny Johnson III, as well as Cyrus Habibi Lakio, really took advantage of the run game, as well as the Sun Devils defense that performed very well, except with a few slip-ups in the 4th quarter. Here's Habibi Lakio on a quick run, made things 21-14. Okay, Boomer, that's what the Sun Devil fans have to say, and that's exactly what Jaden Daniels had to say. I'll let this 81-yard bomb speak for itself. Johnny Johnson III here with another catch and running it in, but really at the end of the day, it wasn't enough for the Oregon Ducks, as here's some of the signature moments entering the playing surface anytime is prohibited. Well, here's the big moment of the night. Jaden Daniels taking the knee as the Sun Devils defeat the number 6 ranked Oregon Ducks. The fans rushed the field and the energy was palpable. Final score, Arizona State 31, the Oregon Ducks 28.
A recap of an amazing day for ASU. What a big-time win. And what a special time we have in here now. Maddie Johnson Thomas. For all you guys on the HouseOfSparky.com message boards and reading the articles, you know her name, but now you get to see her face. She's a featured writer for our site. And Madden, your debut on the show, welcome, first off.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have you in, and we will touch on the game and how big the win was later when Eric Ruby joins us in studio. But for now, you know, the win kind of offers an interesting dilemma in the fact that with such a big win over Oregon, you think of now, is the season a success or is it a disappointment? So Matt, and I ask you that, what do you think?
Well, for me personally, I think that if they beat Arizona, I'm going to say it was a successful season. If they don't beat Arizona, I'm going to say it wasn't. They started off 5-1. They had some great wins over Michigan. They had the Michigan State win, but they lost to Colorado, a game that they should have won, could have won. So I think that potentially it could be a successful season. They did have that big win over Oregon, so I think ASU fans definitely pumped up about that. But they had some of those later losses. They went on a 4-game losing streak that they definitely could have won those.
The season's pretty much defined by the fact of a shoulda, coulda, woulda situation. There's a number of games that ASU lost to opponents that were not even close to as good as Oregon. And so with that, you know, there might be a lot of ASU fans thinking, hey, we just beat the number 6 team in the country, but we lost 4 games before that, 3 of them to far, far inferior opponents to Oregon. What do you say to them in the fact that they think it's a disappointment?
Well, Herm talked about this in his post-game press conference last time. He said that they did lose, but they played competitive. And so I think that's something that ASU fans have to think about. And you have to think about Jaden Daniels, all these freshmen, they're getting that experience. They haven't been on that stage yet. So I think that even though they did lose, they were playing competitively. You know, they're playing USC, they're playing Utah, these big teams. So I think that even though they did lose, they went on a 4-game losing streak. They turned it around. They beat Oregon. They did it where it matters.
Yeah, and it was a big-time win and a pretty fun one to watch as well. And you mentioned young guys, Jaden Daniels. I mean, we can only touch so much on him. He was the National Player of the Week, Offensive Pac-12 Player of the Week. Fantastic. There's lots of young players on this team, though. So looking forward, not to Saturday, but to 2020, 2021, 2022, what do you see out of ASU?
Well, the future definitely is bright for Arizona State football under Herm Edwards. Jaden Daniels, only a freshman, he's gotten so much experience, some big wins this year for him. Herm definitely talks a lot about how they have a lot of young talent, a lot of freshmen are always on the field. So I think definitely in the next couple years they're going to be fighting for a Pac-12 title, and I think that's going to be big for them. And it's big for their recruiting as well to have these big wins, and I think that the future for this program is bright.
That's the future for the program is bright. The future for the show is bright. Zach Keenan, Eric Ruby on the past for ASU football.
Well, with ASU's bowl hopes better than ever, really, we bring on Eric Ruby to break down what happened last Saturday because, boy, is it fun to talk about a ranked win, really crushing Oregon's hopes at the college football playoff shot. And we got to talk about this game. And the first thing we have to mention is how ASU's offense played. They've been pretty lackluster lately, and out of nowhere, they just kind of came out and they killed it. What happened? How did that change?
Well, none of the personnel changed. You still have Jaden Daniels back there. You still have Eno Benjamin. But what changed was the play calling and Rob Likens. He was taking shots downfield consistently for the first time pretty much this entire season. A lot of Rob Likens plays are screen pass, runs to Eno, short, over the middle dumps. No, this time, especially on 3rd down, they were taking shots downfield. This is something that completely opened up the game plan because, oh, you're taking shots downfield. That's a threat. Now we can run the ball. Now we can use those 3 screen passes. So it was nice to see a more fluid offense and also going deep unlocks guys like Frank Darby, whose main threat is as a deep threat. So he went and had the best game of his season so far because of that play calling. So same personnel, same game plan almost, but you're on 3rd down instead of running the ball, you're throwing it deep.
And on the reverse side of the ball, we saw someone like Justin Herbert, who is one of the best draft prospects, probably the best quarterback really now, entering this 2020 draft in a lot of people's minds. And the ASU defense kind of shut him down through 3 quarters. He had 0 touchdowns and 2 picks. How did the ASU defense pull that one off where they've been in games where they've given up 21 points in a quarter?
Yeah, it's strange as well because for the first part of the game, it was just Justin Herbert not playing like Justin Herbert. But you also have to give ASU defense credit for him not playing like himself. He was overthrowing receivers. He wasn't making the right reads, and that was because there was pressure on him. Let's give some credit to the Tempe crowd as well, being absolutely loud. But near the end of the game, Herbert was able to put on and actually play like the quarterback that he's known as, and ASU was able to bend but not break. They had him score, which isn't the best in that situation, but they didn't just let the momentum get away from them, and that I think is just them trying, because they try when they have to play up to their opponent, especially a primetime game against a team in your conference that is trying to get into the college football playoffs. You want to be the team that stops them at home, so they played up to their competition, and it was an off night from Herbert. You can say that sometimes you don't have it, and he just didn't have it.
And we have to talk about it because in his post-game presser, Herm Edwards said that the team would stop losing once they're tired of losing, and they were finally tired of losing. Eric, I gotta ask the cliche though. Did Oregon really lose this game, or did ASU win? Which one is it here?
Oh, you gotta love the cliches, but I think that the reason why it's a cliche is because it's kind of important, because for the first 75% of this game, it was just Oregon losing it. They, again, like I said, Herbert wasn't playing like himself, and yes, the ASU defense was playing good, but they weren't playing out of this world to the point where Oregon's offense would be acting like that. But then for the last 25% of the game, the last quarter, it was back and forth. Oregon was coming back, there was momentum shift, and ASU was able to stop that, and they were able to answer back with their own touchdown in the fourth, thus sealing the game. So first 75% of the game, it was Oregon losing without a doubt, but that end of the game and what actually made them win, that makes ASU the winner of this game in more ways than one.
And it's such a great time to relive this game and relive those moments. Let's do it one more time. TJ Mathewson and Tyler Henry were on the call for the Blaze Radio Call of the Week.
Third down and 16. Daniels back to pass. He'll chuck it deep. He's got a receiver open. It's Ayuk, makes the catch. Cross the 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Devils! Wow!
Some electric highlights from a day full of electricity. And before we begin our house film review with Ryan McClure, favorite Thanksgiving food?
I'm going to go with stuffing.
Stuffing, okay. You mentioned that to me earlier, so this isn't just off the cusp, but ASU's offense, they were stuffing the ball into the end zone all night long. I mean, Brandon Ayuk, Frank Darby, Jaden Daniels, Eno Benjamin were special. But the defense had some struggles, especially late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the offense was on point, but the defense was not, especially in the fourth quarter. It starts with this run right here. You take a look at this play right here. ASU and most defenses, they play gap-control defense. You need one guy responsible for every single gap. You can see it lined up right here. One guy responsible for every gap, plus those two fill defenders circled out. And that's the key, those two fill defenders. And about a second into this play right here, the gaps become more clear. You can see where they're supposed to fill, where they're supposed to come in, and what's supposed to happen. And if we switch it right here, that guard is pulling. Number 33, the running back, supposed to go straight up that gap, and there's no one in this gap. The linebacker goes on the outside, and Evan Fields, the safety, he falls for Justin Herbert's play fake. So this is an easy touchdown, and that's lackadaisical defense.
And so it's Butler and Fields that just made the wrong move.
Exactly. Butler made a wrong move. Field makes a wrong move. Wide open touchdown. And then in this play right here, this is called a jailbreak screen. The whole offense line's running at the defense.
How beautiful is that, by the way? It looks good, huh?
It's scary if you're the defense. And for the two safeties right here with the red and the blue is the angle they're supposed to take. The red is the angle they actually take. Terrible angles, and it creates an easy touchdown for Oregon on 3rd and 10, and potentially gives them chances still at a comeback.
So it's a talented defense. Is it just making the wrong decisions, or is it kind of lazy play out there?
It's lazy play. They're up by a lot in the fourth quarter. It's just lazy football. You can see here again. It's just, where is everyone? It's a screen pass to the receiver. There should be guys all over the ball. So they just weren't having it.
Yeah, definitely don't love to see that if you're an ASU fan, kind of guys. It doesn't look like it's going full speed. That's for sure.
Exactly. And then Justin Herbert right here, he has a sprint out. You can see the routes, what he's supposed to do, where he's supposed to go with the ball. He has a guy chasing him. He doesn't know that, and he forces an interception. And Justin Herbert, everyone talked about him before this game. Everyone's been talking about him for the past 2 years.
And will continue to do so.
Exactly. He's going to play on Sundays one day, but he makes this throw, and that's an egregious throw. It's not a good throw for Justin Herbert, and for a guy who's supposed to play on Sundays, he did not show up when Oregon needs him to show up, when they're looking to get into the college football playoffs.
So is it more Justin Herbert that didn't show up, or is it Danny Gonzalez and the ASU defense that shut him down?
Well, we've heard a lot about Danny Gonzalez and the mastermind he is on defense, and he is a mastermind on defense. So you have to give them a lot of credit, ASU's defense that is. You have to give them a lot of credit for coming out and stopping Herbert. But Herbert, he's the quarterback for the Oregon Ducks. He has to take responsibility. You can't turn over the ball. No matter how much pressure a defense puts on you, no matter what's going on, there's no excuses for turning over the ball.
So, okay, we've gone some negative Nancy here on ASU's defensive side, but ASU fans, it's been a while since they had something to cheer about. Now, probably the biggest thing to cheer about in the last couple of years, a big win over number 6 Oregon, killing their college football playoff hopes. Give me something good that you liked from the ASU defense on Saturday.
They stopped Herbert. That's a plus. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
But this ASU defense, we could talk about them being lackadaisical. We could talk about them being lazy. They are one of the most talented defenses in the Pac-12. And with Danny Gonzalez, he will fix them. Next year, I'm excited to watch this defense. It's going to be fun football in Tempe.
Really was fun. The future is bright. Hey, at the beginning of this, you mentioned you love stuffing. I've been hungry ever since. Are you hungry?
I'm really hungry.
All right, I'm starving too. Jackson Zuber, what's for dinner?
Scotty, it's not about what they're eating at Thanksgiving dinner, it's who is at Thanksgiving dinner. Now, on the same weekend as families across the country come together to enjoy a meal, two rivals will collide in the Duel in the Desert for the Territorial Cup. But really, how different are these two events? I, for one, would say not much at all. The cast of characters you would see at any Thanksgiving meal are all going to be there Saturday night in Tempe. Let's start here with Herm Edwards, or for our case, good old Uncle Herm. When he speaks, everyone listens. Even though you don't really know what he's going to say, you know it's going to be entertaining. Next is Kevin Sumlin. Now, he's kind of like Uncle Herm's younger brother. He had learned under Herm for years and now is his own man. Actually, the most interesting thing about Uncle Kevin is that there's this little rumor going around that he's on the hot seat. U of A might want to divorce him, so let's move past that. Let's look at the quarterbacks. Starting with Jaden Daniels. He's finally allowed to sit at the adult table. At first, he's cautious, minimizing mistakes, carefully passing food around the table, making sure not to spill, but then as he gets comfortable, he takes a couple shots downfield, cracking a couple jokes, reaching for the wine, seeing what he can do. Which brings us to Khalil Tate. First year he was at the big table went great, and there were even hopes that he could get the most prestigious honor of all, sitting at the head of the table one year, but a few mistake jokes, a fumble of the gravy, and a few bread roll interceptions later, and Khalil Tate is now down at the far end of the table. Now, our running backs is where it gets very interesting, as ASU's Eno Benjamin and U of Arizona's J.J. Taylor are in similar spots. They're both the older kid that the adults love and the kids look up to, but everyone is pretty sure that this is their last year at the Thanksgiving table for quite a while. These guys got bigger things to do. Thanksgiving week is all about family. Every family has some rivalries, a couple of arguments, and in the Arizona family we have the Duel in the Desert. Not that much different than Thanksgiving dinner, if you really think about it.
Remember when ASU was on a 4-game losing streak? It feels like forever ago at this point, doesn't it? Some fans aren't as fortunate on Thanksgiving as Sun Devil fans are, and they're Arizona fans. The Wildcats enter this game at 4-7, with any hope for a bowl game strewn away with the 6-game losing streak they're riding. Things in Tucson aren't looking overly positive right now. Kevin Sumlin is in his second year wearing red and blue, and after amassing a 5-7 record last year and missing a bowl game too, his job could be in jeopardy. As ASU's run defense picks up, it'll be a great battle between the line and the now healthy J.J. Taylor for the Wildcats. Something to look for? The QB battle. It's ugly. The one-time Heisman hopeful Khalil Tate is now splitting time with freshman Grant Gunnell. ASU enters the game as a 12.5-point favorite, and ESPN's FPI put Herm's side at nearly an 80% chance to win. Then again, it's the Territorial Cup. Anything can happen. While fans in Tucson may be in despair as they enter a match to keep some pride and play spoiler in ASU's search for a big-name bowl game, ASU fans have more to be thankful for, especially after a win versus the ranked Oregon Ducks last week. Scotty, heading into Thanksgiving, I gotta know, man, what are you thankful for?
There's a number of things I'm thankful for, but let's stick with 3 straight numbers, okay? 2, 8, and 6. 286 receiving yards from Frank Darby and Brandon Ayuk. Not because they scored touchdowns and, the crowd was going crazy, but
because
they did. But because of how fun it was. Frank Darby goes in there, he does a little one of these guys, he shimmies all over the place. Brandon Ayuk is incredibly fast. It hurts my eyes to watch him run the football. It was just fun to watch. So I think for me, for ASU fans, for anybody watching football, it was fun to watch. I'm thankful to see that happen, Zach.
Well, in the same way, I think the exact same thing about fun football. And Scotty, why I'm thankful right now, heading into Thanksgiving, I am so thankful for ASU changing up their schemes from this horizontal, scheme where it's just a lot of passes in the flat to Eno and a lot of just short screens that you don't really need to see. But Rob Likens switching things up, and we go to a vertical passing scheme. And what do you know? It worked. It's a shocker, right? You've got guys like Frank Darby, Brandon Ayuk with incredible speed, and they utilize it. And Jaden Daniels throws it to him, and it's beautiful. That's one thing that I'm thankful for. What else do you have?
Okay, I've got one more thing, and it's a big one. Just the fact that it's rivalry week. It's so.
It's hate week. It's hate week.
I mean, there's not much more to it. Last year was such an amazing game. 41-40, 19 points. Like people were crying of happiness and sadness. But this year it's just special. It's an 8 p.m. game. It's nighttime in Tempe. There's going to be a light show. There might be another storm the field. I don't know. But what I do know is it's going to be so fun. And now I have 2 days to look forward to this week. Thursday I'm going to eat a lot, too much. And Saturday the Devils, they might be eating. So it's really going to be exciting.
Ooh, I like that one. The Devils could be eating. Someone who I think is for sure going to eat. And it's the last thing that I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving, other than my family, of course, Scotty.
Yeah, of course.
The
And
thing I'm
me,
thankful for.
right?
And a great show. But what I'm really
Yeah.
thankful for is Brandon Ayuk and his emergence as a dual threat on special teams and not only offense. He's now really, after that punt return touchdown that he had against Oregon State, he's established that he can be that dual threat. And not only does it help his draft stock heading into the 2020 draft, it also really helps the Sun Devils. Now they have this guy who not only you have to guard as a corner, but you have to guard as a gunner on punts when you're running down the field. You got to watch him too. So yeah, those are things that I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving, Scotty.
It really, really has been fun to watch him play. He's made some incredible plays, but there's been a number of them around the Pac-12.
Up and down the West Coast for some Pac-12 top plays. We start off in Colorado. Steven Montez, 2nd and 1 here in the second quarter. Look at this deep ball, tight spiral, finding Laviska Shenault in the end zone, and he grabs it in. He puts his palms up because even he doesn't know how he caught that ball, Scotty.
Listen, if he doesn't know, then I have absolutely no idea. Laviska Shenault, he's just so much fun to watch. But it was fun to watch Cal take down Stanford with a lot of help from Jalen Hawkins. One-handed INT, 24-20 Cal over Stanford. First time in 9 years, Zach.
Well, I see that one-handed interception. I raise you a one-handed catch as we go up to the far snowier and colder Pullman, Washington, as Oregon State's own Isaiah Hodgins. Let's get an instant replay of this one where he extends. The ball does not touch the ground, Scotty. That's why this one is our number 1 top play.
Hey, it was the weekend of Hawkins, Hodgins, 2 incredible catches, and bear with me here, from ASU fans to the Oregon Ducks, killing their college football playoff hopes.
Demoralizing because they stormed the field at the end too, just to add insult to injury.
And just to add a fine to ASU as well, just to throw it all in there.
Just a little extra couple bucks.
Hey, it's going to be a fun week. It was. We got to enjoy that today, and now we look forward. Hope you all can look forward and can find some time to be thankful. I'm thankful for you, thankful for everybody, for Zach Keenan. I'm Scotty Gaines. For everybody here at the house, we're here wishing you a happy Thanksgiving from the house. Have a great one at yours. And hey, it's hate week.